Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a bit tired.
Hello to all the listeners out there. Welcome to episode 4.
Yes, episode 4.
We've come a long way now. We're actually deep in it.
We're good to go. And this episode 4, is going to be about fasting, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Jumping into the nutritional side of things.
Yeah, which is something that we've wanted to talk about on the podcast for a while now, like health and fitness. So it's good to finally get into the first topic in that sphere.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've got some cool stuff I'm ready to share.
Yeah, Owen's got a lot more experience actually doing this than me. I've done it a few times. I've done intermittent fasting a few times, but yeah, so we've got a little agenda here. Do you want to take us through that, Owen?
Well, I was going to say, last episode, we did mention that we'd be doing the challenge of fasting. Yeah. And we were planning to do it Friday to Saturday. That didn't end up working out. So we're currently in the middle of it now. It's Sunday night, where we are about 8 hours in, 7.5, 8 hours into our fast. Yeah. And we're both running pretty well. I've had a few temptations. I made my lunch for tomorrow earlier. Did a bit of meal prep.
Very, very risky move from you, making lunch while you're fasting.
Yeah, I struggled, but it's all made now, and I'm not hungry anymore. I drank some water. Miracle.
Lifesaver. You fat fuck. Drinking water and shit.
So yeah,
there's a lot of calories in that.
There's a lot of calories. Yeah. A lot of bad.
Yeah.
The main reason we're doing this fast is so we're doing a 24-hour fast. So we started today at 1, we'll stop tomorrow at 1. And we wanted to be able to come into this episode with a bit of experience and knowledge on how we feel and what we're getting out of it.
Yeah, 24 hours is like the longest time I think I will have not eaten food since I was born, probably. So
which is really interesting.
Yeah. So at the moment, I feel completely fine, and I'm going to be sleeping for a while. So
I'm very ready to sleep.
Real? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely hungover.
Yeah, we had a huge late breakfast just at around 12:30. So
it was filthy.
Yeah.
Uber Eats.
Shout out to Uber Eats.
We hit the Guzman and Gomez.
That's good.
Jumped on that burrito and just went to town. I can recommend it. And if
fuck yeah,
if Guzman Gomez Ting want to give us a little bit of a discount code or anything like that, if you're watching it, Guz, just
come on, Guzman or Gomez, whichever one's watching, just send us.
I'm so ready for that.
Okay, so today we're talking about fasting. Intermittent fasting being one, in that. Well, I guess all fasting's intermittent unless if you die, because you're always going to end up eating again.
It is, yeah.
Oh, intermittent implies as repeated periods, actually.
Time restricted eating as well. A lot of people refer to it as.
And there's a few different ways you can fast. So I think there's something out there for everyone, in my opinion.
Yeah, you've got your circadian rhythm fasting, which basically states that you should be eating in line with your circadian clock, which is when the sun comes up and when the sun goes down. So I think that ends up being like a 12 to a 13.
For someone who's not nocturnal.
Yes, exactly.
Unless you're on the night shift. Yeah.
It's not like our natural circadian clock.
Periods of wakefulness and rest times.
And the reason behind that is that we have, so in our brains, when you see light, your brain wakes up. When you see the sunlight, you're like, okay, like naturally you're just like, it's time to get up now, if that's the way you're wired, which most of us humans are wired like that. So the idea is that you sync up your eating patterns with those sleeping patterns, and your body can digest the food better and make better use of all the nutrients you're taking in.
So you eat before you go to sleep?
No, you'd wake up and you'd eat throughout the day. And then when the sun goes down, you stop eating.
Oh, okay. So you eat when the sun's up?
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And that's circadian.
Should we go through the agenda first before we dive in? Just run through.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Do you want to go through that?
So what's happening is, got the introduction. You just witnessed that. You're witnessing the fitness. And then we're going to go through... So we're going to go through the implications of fasting on your health as a young adult, fasting as a method of weight loss, fasting, the other health benefits that have been suggested that you can get from fasting, and then some relevant people. You can just listen now. Some good people to look into about fasting are Rhonda Fitzpatrick, her podcast with Joe Rogan, another guy, Thomas DeLauer, and Dr. Eric Berg, all have good information about fasting.
All on YouTube.
All on YouTube.
Yeah, all free.
Then we've got our music of the week, as you always, we're doing that. And our pet peeve of the week.
Yes.
Interesting. Do you have one?
I do have a pet peeve of the week.
Okay.
Do you?
Not
Have
yet.
you not been annoyed?
Oh, fuck yeah, I have.
You do?
Oh, I've got a massive peeve last night, mate. Biggest peeve ever.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ready. So we're jumping into what it can do for your health as a young adult. Do you want to take us away?
Yeah, well, I think I'll continue going with the different forms of fasting. I forgot to write that down on the agenda there.
That's alright.
Okay, so we've gone through the circadian fasting. The next one would be just like basic time restricted windows of eating. So that jumps from this is what most people call intermittent fasting. This will jump from a 14 and 10, which is 14 hours of fasting, 10 hours of eating. The next step up from that is 16 and 8, same thing. Then you jump up to you jump up to 18 and 6, 20 and 4. And the idea is that you jump up in twos. I don't know why, that's just something people do. I'm sure 1 hour here and there won't make much of a difference.
I think the idea is that you need about once you get beyond 12 hours, you start to get the metabolic effect of being fasted. Yeah. So once you start to go beyond 12, then you can start to get those effects.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's also day schedules. So 5-2 diet, I think. So that's 5 days you eat normally, and 2 days you spend with significantly reduced calories.
Yeah.
And there's also another one I found out just before on this article called Eat Stop Eat, which sounds pretty difficult. You choose 1 or 2 days during the week where you just go without food for the whole day. So basically this 24-hour fast that we're doing right now, doing that twice a week. Not sure about that one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was reading before, you can do the 20, and I'll see how I feel tomorrow, but a 24-hour fast once a week is that's similar to the Eat Stop Eat, I guess, just not as extreme.
Yeah.
So the 16 and 8 method is the most popular one. That's what you're going to hear most people talking about. That's what Joe Rogan's a big fan of. Guys like Thomas DeLauer, Dr. Eric Berg, those guys really push for this because it sounds hard, but it's so easy to do once you get in the habit, and you can really fit it into your lifestyle. So you could either finish eating at 10 o'clock at night and then resume eating at 2 in the afternoon. That's my favorite way to do it. Or you could do it, finish eating at 6 or 7, have an early dinner, and then you start eating again at 10 or 11 in the morning. And that helps for people, because you can sleep through it. And for people who are really used to having that big meal in the morning, you still get that. You push it back a few hours, but you still get that morning meal. You're not waiting into the afternoon. So it's you can just do it in any way you want to do it, any way that fits you. So it's a cool one. Another one is the warrior diet, which is an interesting, I wouldn't call it fasting. It comes under the category a lot in articles, but the warrior diet is basically you get up, you don't eat breakfast or anything, but throughout the whole day, you're eating fresh fruits and fresh veggies. It's supposed to be what warriors used to eat back in the day, way back, way back. And then when you get to the end of the day, you have one meal, and that one meal is for dinner, and you have a massive, huge, nutrient-dense meal. So heaps of carbs, heaps of fats, and heaps of proteins. You get them all in that one meal. And you're just eating snacks of fruit and veg throughout the day until that. So that's the warrior diet. That's another one that comes up quite a lot.
Yeah, and there's also just one meal a day, so that's simple enough. You just
the OMAD diet.
Yeah, you just have one huge feed a day, and you're definitely fasting in that case.
Yeah,
I really like the idea of that. It's very simple.
I've tried it before.
Yeah.
It's good. It's hard. It's pretty hard work. And I got used to it, and then I spent one day where I didn't do it, and then I couldn't go back to it because I was fuck, I can't not eat for the whole day. again, I need to eat.
Yeah.
And it's all about getting in the habit of it.
Yeah.
A lot of shift workers do 1 meal a day though. That's a really popular one for shift workers. So some benefits of intermittent fasting for our health. Have you got any you'd like to share?
Well, a few I can list off the top of my head are. I can't go with that one now because that's cheating. I need to think of something that I actually do know about. So I know that it has positive outcomes for your insulin sensitivity. So that is good in that whenever you consume nutrients, your body will spike your insulin levels in order to do glycolysis on the carbohydrates that you've ingested, so turn that into energy. That requires insulin. So by eating very frequently, you're constantly have insulin in your system. Apparently something that, our bodies weren't adapted to do in the first place, because you're supposed to have periods of flux where you're not eating, you don't have insulin in your system. So the idea is that by reducing your diabetes comes as a result of reduced insulin sensitivity. So you get, because people eat so much, and in our culture we just are constantly stimulating our insulin production, and our bodies lose the ability to how do I say it? Basically, no insulin sensitivity equals diabetes. By doing intermittent fasting, you basically destroy any chance of you contracting diabetes, which is fucking really interesting. Like, that's huge, really.
Yeah, so like when you're not consuming food, your insulin levels will drop. So when you're fasting, your insulin levels are going to be low. So if they're low, the body fat that you have stored becomes super accessible for
ketosis.
Well, that's a complete different. That's like a whole new avenue. If we're talking about nutrition. I thought
burning fat is ketosis, to be honest. But whatever.
Yeah, when your body uses fat as energy, but this is just like fat mobilization is a word that's a buzzword that's thrown around a lot. Basically means that because you're fasting, your insulin levels are low. Your body starts burning off fat because it's able to access it a lot easier. So therefore, the conclusion is drawn that intermittent fasting leads to greater fat burning potential. So that's kind of one of the big things that comes in, and a lot of people talk about it, and it's just healthy in general to bring your insulin back down, because as Curtis was saying, we don't need all that shit.
So that's interesting. Also, allegedly improves your gut health.
I have heard that. Yeah. And gut health is huge at the moment.
The microbiome is another buzzword at the moment.
Yeah, it's massive. And there's so much chatter about the gut health having direct impact on your mental on your mental health.
Final. Well, don't worry. Just saved Owen's laptop.
Thanks,
that's all right.
Because you're in a fasted state.
Yeah, I've got mental acuity. Yeah. So apparently there's like so many nerve endings in your stomach that they've discovered, obviously through dissection, and like they have no function. Like, what would their function be? You don't feel sensations, like tactile sensations in your stomach. Yeah. Obviously those nerve impulses will allegedly sending information to your brain that affects what your brain's doing in terms of mood, and in terms of mood basically.
I 100% agree with that. Like, whenever I'm eating healthy, I feel good. Mentally I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like switched on. I'm pretty happy. And then whenever I have like a period of crappy eating, I definitely don't feel as good as I do when I'm eating healthily.
Yeah, I reckon it'd have to be a survival mechanism, because like our brains are trying to teach us, back in the day before we actually knew what was healthy.
Yeah.
Brains sort of trying to tell us what to do.
Like, yeah, that's good.
Our guts trying to tell us what to do. Yeah.
Fuck off, don't eat that again.
Yeah.
That's not cool. Here, have a week of depression. Don't you dare eat that again.
I'm just going to take some serotonin, alright? And go back later.
So some other really cool benefits of intermittent fasting. A lot of this stuff is quite, like, because intermittent fasting is kind of new. It's a new thing that's getting big, so all the research is pretty new. That's my understanding anyway. I'm sure there's been research back in the day, but nothing huge. So a lot of this stuff is still argued. to be BS. But you know what? I'm going to be honest. I buy into it. I think it's all true. I back it. Reading stuff on it, it just makes sense. Comes across as something that would work for our body. So fasting boosts your human growth hormone, HGH, and this helps with your cell repair, speeds up your metabolism, your body growth, and helps you recover from injury and disease. So if your human growth hormone is like boosted and you're working out every day or you're going for a run every day, whatever you're doing, that hormone is going to aid your body in recovering quicker. So a lot of athletes are now getting into intermittent fasting because it just leads to quicker recovery, which means you can go harder for longer and your endurance is going to be up and you're going to be able to do that over a longer period of time because your body's repairing itself. It's like, bang, let's go. Let's hit the gym on Monday. I'm going to be good to go run on Tuesday and then I'm going to go do some boxing on Wednesday. It's an extra thing that you can do to improve your athletic performance. That's the way I see it.
And calorie restriction in general, like, is known to be extremely effective in prolonging your lifespan, and that's just known. That's guaranteed. So, for example, my mum, one of the doctors at work, she works with, I don't know if he does it as a result of this, but he eats like a bird. They say, like, he eats nothing. Yeah. This cardiologist, but it is scientifically grounded. There was a study they did on rats where a 30% decrease in calorie intake was met with a 30% increase in the average lifespan.
That's huge.
That's ridiculous. Obviously, humans wouldn't respond probably with that parity, the exact same. But it's like, we know that rats are very similar to humans. Yeah.
No, that's crazy. And I think another thing, like with intermittent fasting leading to a longer lifespan, is autophagy, which is a form of cell repair. Now, I'm going pretty deep here and I'm going pretty out of my depth, but from doing a little bit of reading, autophagy is just when your cells digest and they remove old and dysfunctional proteins that build up inside your cells, and that's a good thing, right? Because you don't want old and dysfunctional proteins. You want new. You want those young money proteins, those functional ones, because that's what we're about. So yeah, you've got your autophagy happening when you're fasting, but the thing with that is that doesn't come in until your 18 hours fasting period is what most of the studies have concluded. Like you're not going to get those autophagy, I'm sick of saying that, benefits unless you're fasting for a prolonged period of time. So that's where that eat, stop, eat fasting method would come in quite popular, because you're doing those 2 big 24-hour fasts, which is going to hit you up with those health benefits. We're out of focus on that camera.
Oh, real?
Oh, we're back.
Are we? Oh.
We're back.
We back.
Just stop moving, bro.
Yeah.
Just stop moving. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And then you have the biggest one, which is weight loss. I mean, I think that's why intermittent fasting is so popular at the moment, because it's a tool for calorie restriction, and to lose weight, you need to have less calories in your body than you need to be putting in less calories than you're burning. Am I saying that right? Put in less calories than you're burning.
Yes.
Yes, that's weight loss. And intermittent fasting, you're taking a meal out of the day, a meal which for most people is going to range from 500 to 1,000 calories. You take that out and you're in a deficit of 500 to 1,000 calories. You're consistent with this over time. You know, I think there's 3,500 calories in a pound. So if you take away 500 calories, 5 days of the...
3,500 calories in a pound?
Yes, sir.
Calories don't have weight.
No, if you want to lose a pound...
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, if you do... What's that? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Math. Yeah. If you do that 7 days a week, 500 calorie deficit, you're going to lose a pound of body weight a week. And then you can get into all your macronutritional values, which will determine whether you lose fat or if you're just losing protein. But that's for another episode. We're going to stay pretty well focused on fasting for now. So yeah, you're going to be losing weight. You're going to be losing weight, which a lot of people want to do.
It's all about what works for you, though. That's the bottom line as well, because it does take more discipline than an average diet, I would argue.
Yeah.
And but also it's so at first it might be hard, but what I've learned on YouTube has a really good video on it. But he does talk about how once you've adapted to your new eating pattern, your insulin is, which has been trained over time to want breakfast, lunch, and dinner, does start to change its periods where it spikes. So, no. When you're hungry, it will change. Your body will adapt, and you probably won't have those hunger pangs when you're actually fasting. It will just come naturally.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because hunger is just like a chemical reaction, really, isn't it? I mean, there's a hormone called ghrelin, and once that's released to tell your brain that you're hungry. I'm pretty certain that's how it works.
Yeah.
Real amateur hours over here. And then you train your body not to release that hormone. So I get up and I eat at 8 a.m. and I have my breakfast. My body's going to set off that hormone every day at 8 a.m. so that I then think, oh shit, 8 a.m., time to have breakfast. You break that habit and your body's not going to be releasing the ghrelin to make you hungry. That's my understanding of it. So it takes a few days, yeah, and it's pretty hard. Like, I'm hungry right now, 8:54. I'd usually be eating dinner around now. So there's that. It takes a bit of getting used to. And you have to be... It helps. I mean, that's a good thing, though, because then you're getting that self-discipline. You're doing something that's not very comfortable, and it's so important to put yourself in positions in life where you're, like, uncomfortable and trying something new. Because shit just shouldn't be easy every day.
Yeah, one of the reasons that I love to smash a cold shower, like Owen's got his intermittent fasting, I've got my cold showering, like that's something that I always probably 80% of the showers I have are freezing. And I just think
like
that
0 degrees freezing temperature?
Well...
Like, do you freeze in the shit?
Well, freezing's a process, so yeah, no, probably not. So, cold showers, it's good to get out of your comfort zone. And there's a whole suite of health benefits attributed to having cold exposure, so that's another good thing. But yeah, getting out of your comfort zone is just essential.
100%.
Shout out to David Goggins.
Yeah, check that man out on Instagram if you want to wake up. You want a wake up call.
He hates the comfort zone. He hates it so much. Anyway.
What does he do? I did 5 death weeks.
5 hell weeks.
Hell weeks. I did 5.
Yeah.
This guy puts up Instagram videos and he's just like running along the side of the road and he'll be like 20 k's into his morning run. He's like, you got to make yourself uncomfortable. You got to live in this shit.
It's true though, yeah,
That's
you do have to get out of your comfort zone to go, for sure, to become a better person, otherwise you're just not doing anything.
And it's another thing with intermittent fasting is, for me, I know that with food, I'll be lying in bed and I'll be bored, or I'll just be somewhere and I'll be bored and I'll be like, oh shit, I'll just go down to the cupboard and see what's happening, what's popping in the fridge, you know? And then when I'm fasting, it's like, no, yes, you're bored, but the opportunity to just go and snack on something to cure that boredom, it's not there because I'm in my 16-hour window.
You're not allowed
to eat. That's just not what I'm doing. So you can break down any unhealthy relationships that you could have with food, such as the boredom equals eating time relationship. And same goes with stress eating and binge eating. Intermittent fasting is really good with just, you almost disassociate yourself from food as a coping mechanism for anything that's going on in your life. Because you're just like, I have my windows when you're training yourself not to want food to overcome something. So therefore, when you are in your eating window, when you're in your actual eating window, where you say you get stressed or something, you don't have that immediate thought to go, oh shit, I need food. I'm just going to eat a burger to overcome this real quick. You just break that down. That's what worked for me anyway, because I know I'm very I look to food for comfort, and intermittent fasting's really helped me.
Everyone does to an extent. Everyone does.
Yeah. So that's another thing, and that's like playing into the mental health benefits now. So intermittent fasting, in my opinion, it may be a biased opinion because intermittent fasting has definitely worked for me as a tool for health and a tool for weight loss, but in my opinion, I think it's great. I think everyone should try it.
Why? What have you got to lose, really, apart from a few kilos? But legit, you could probably lose some weight. We all could. And also, what I found really interesting is how apparently it helps people with their mental clarity in the morning. Yes. So yeah, I think I've experienced that. I definitely have. You can get a mental fog, especially from a lot of carbs, I reckon. If I have protein and fat, I don't really feel that as much fuzzy.
I 100% feel that, yeah.
So yeah.
When you have that big lunch full of carbs and then you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at work and I have a big carby lunch, leaving the smoko hut's just like, I don't want to be there. I just want to go home and go to bed or do something.
And I remember this is what Rhonda Fitzpatrick talked about, was the brain-derived neurotrophic factor. No idea what that is, but I think that's just the chemical. It's the chemical that they attribute to the increased mental clarity people report experiencing during fasted states. And allegedly there is animal research that supports this. May as well give this link a click and see where it's, so I can drop what it's actually called.
Of course.
Energy intake, meal frequency and health, a neurobiological perspective by Matson. Obviously is the study. So if you want to look further into that, an animal study on mental performance and fasting. But I've heard from a few mates, and like I think I've experienced it as well, and you say you have, and a few other people have told me, but whilst fasted you can focus really well, I think I've heard.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Of a hack. It's nothing crazy. It's not like in the movies where it's not like Limitless where it's just like super focus, or like you're taking a study drug or something. It's just you'll probably only notice it when you go back to eating in the morning, and then you'll be like, oh fuck, I feel really foggy, like I'm feeling real dazed and confused. Shout out to Led Zeppelin. Hint of what's to come. Yeah, I think it's just definitely it's definitely helped with mental clarity. I don't like eating before I go into any exams or anything like that, because I just find that being on that empty stomach, I just feel light, and I'm just like, yeah, cool, I'm just going to focus on the exam and then have a bit, eat later or whatever, but it's not a focus at the time. And I guess that makes sense logically as well, because when you eat a big meal, your body's like, oh shit, all engines go, we got to digest this ASAP. So your body's immediately into digestion mode, which takes up energy, which means that you don't have as much energy for your brain. So to me, that makes complete logical sense, that when you're digesting huge foods, you feel tired because your digestive system's in there pumping weights, getting gains.
Yeah, on that dirty bulk.
On that dirty bulk.
What's next on the agenda?
Well, I was going to talk about like fasting. So if any of our viewers are interested in trying a bit of fasting, you've probably got questions. So first of all, if we don't cover any of these questions, hit us up in the comments section or send us a DM. But questions that I know I asked at the start were like, can I work out while I'm fasted? And the answer is yes, you'll be fine. The whole idea of needing protein 30 minutes after working out is a bit of a myth. It does have some grounded logic if you're like a bodybuilder and you're constantly, like you're going on to shows and shit. There's like this tiny increase in protein synthesis. Like it's not that important.
So I've heard the window's closer to like you can go to 1 or 2 hours after and still get sufficient protein intake. But I think worrying heaps about getting that feed straight after, I'm like, okay, worry about it so much if you're an actual athlete, but you're probably not. So if you're not training every single day and it's not
you're not an athlete,
it's unlikely.
You're never going to be one.
Well, no, you're not. I'm saying if it's like if it means that much to you and you're actually training that hard, then maybe intermittent fasting. But it's all about shifting your fasting windows. Like you can make it work. When do you work out? Break your fast when you finish your workout. Like that's a possibility.
That's a fun one, I reckon. Just break it when you finish working out, because then it's like you'll probably be pretty hungry when you finish working out after fasting. So it's nice to break it then. But if you have to work out in the morning and break your fast a few hours later, don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. Now, another thing that people always bring up is, but I have to eat 5 or 6 times a day to keep my metabolism firing. Like, if I don't eat, my metabolism will slow down.
I used to believe in that. Fat. I used to think that was my way to...
Same here.
Well, there are merits to it. But go on, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, it's all been, like, completely debunked. Like, you don't need to eat 6 times a day to keep your metabolism running. Your metabolism will be running fine. And weight loss is more about your calories in versus calories out, not how many times or when you're eating these calories. It's just as long as that's what you follow. Yeah. It's whatever works for you. We got to do our thing.
Is it splitting it? It's been stopped. Okay.
Pause that.
We're back. Just had to swap the cameras over.
It's
not a
just
difficulty.
Yeah.
This one's just normal.
We actually ran with that smoothly because we caught it in time, so we didn't film or record anything with the camera being off. So no, we did well there. Metabolism. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine. You don't need to be eating 6 times a day. It's bullshit. And breakfast. You don't need breakfast. Breakfast is such a myth. It was invented by Kellogg's to sell more cereal. They literally put out an ad saying that it's the most important meal of the day, and that took off. It spread like wildfire. It's bullshit. All right, you don't need breakfast.
Yeah, the food industry be fucking you over, like telling you need all this stuff, but like not necessarily. Like they stand to make huge profits off what people believe and consumer behavior, and we've been influenced to think that breakfast, lunch, and dinner, well, it is just a social norm, and when you just like think about it, there's no reason to do that. It's only because everyone else does it.
Genuinely, there's no need for it. Step out of the box. Don't be a Norman.
Unplug yourself from the matrix of breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. So then another pretty interesting one. I had them up here, just like frequently asked questions that we can answer.
Yeah.
So what can you have whilst you're fasting? Water. Any 0-calorie drinks. So that's water, tea, coffee. If you want, you can have your diet sodas and diet energy drinks. That's a personal choice. There's no calories, so technically you'll be fine. But there's a whole other avenue of health benefits and whatnot connected with those, which is your own personal study. You can go research that. So, yeah, if you're having coffee, it has to be black. You can't have your classic milky coffee that's got calories in it, and that's actually one of the biggest hidden calories ever. When people get those mad flat whites and lattes with big sugar, you're gonna
interesting.
Be silly. Watch what you eat.
Another source of massive source of calories I found out the other day is like oils and spreads. I didn't know how many calories were in like what a standard serving of olive spread on toast. 60 calories in like a little teaspoon of olive oil.
And
a
tablespoon is like 120 or 140 calories.
Ain't gonna stop me eating my oils though.
You need those oils. They're healthy fats.
They're good for you.
Don't be scared of those calories.
Don't be scared.
So yeah, that's all you can have during the fast. Now, another thing so we spoke about how it's hard the first couple of days. Some things that are really cool at blunting hunger is soda water, if you're drinking that, and the soda diet drinks, Diet Coke and shit. They blunt your hunger because the bubbles go into your tummy and fill you up. So it's like, I'm not hungry anymore. Water's really good. Just drink heaps of water. And that's a good chance to just get that water flushing through your system while there's no other food going through it. Coffee's my favorite one. I get up in the morning and just have some black coffee, and it's like bang, appetite blunted. Get hungry again, smash another one.
Yeah.
Teas.
Caffeine does function to just reduce your appetite. There's something about it.
Yeah.
So that's just a no-brainer. Like you may as well get your caffeine in. It just makes it easier. You just don't get as hungry.
Yeah. And just know
and
that,
it's thermogenic as well. It helps you burn fat. So that's another one. Yeah.
But if you've been fasting for long enough, you're not going to have any fat to burn because you're going to be in crazy shape.
Because you're going to be at 0% body fat.
Yeah. And you'll be dead. Which is the goal, isn't it?
What's the next one? Can I take supplements while fasting? Should we talk about that? No.
Yeah,
that's an obvious no.
Yeah.
You obviously can't take supplements while you're fasting. Unless if you're talking about like vitamins, maybe. Yeah. Anything without calories. Anything without calories you can have when you're fast.
Yeah. Or just have them... Or just take your supplements and vitamins once you've started eating. That would probably make more sense. And also, don't have your supplements and vitamins when you're drinking coffee and tea. I found that out the other day. They don't absorb as well.
Yeah.
You get like half of what you're putting...
Well, I know iron doesn't absorb. Caffeine stops the absorption of iron.
Hectic. So. I did not know that. Yeah. So, yeah. Not going to stop me having my morning coffee, boy.
No way. Need my cup of joe.
Okay, so then the next one is, will fasting cause muscle loss? Depends what you eat when you're in your eating period. If you're not eating the right foods, like if you're just having carbs and fats and no protein during your eating window, then you'll probably lose muscle. Yeah, because protein's the building block of muscle. You need it. How much you need is up to your own, like how much you're working out and what you personally think and what your preference is.
And if you want muscle gain or muscle retention. Maintaining.
Yeah. So it won't cause muscle loss if you're just eating the right foods. What are the right foods? Just eat shit that's healthy. If you eat meat, then obviously your muscle foods are like chicken and meats, yogurts, protein shakes. Have that, but also have a good amount of healthy carbs and healthy fats. Just eat healthily while you're in your eating window, and you won't be losing muscle. I could go on for ages about like eating the right. You have to eat a surplus of calories if you want to gain muscle. So that's another conversation. But if you're eating in a deficit, but you're eating the right foods, that is a mix of all three macronutrients, you'll be fine. Yeah. You won't lose any muscle.
Yeah.
You'll be sweet. You'll just lose fat and you'll look cool. But you know what? Maybe fat is cool. So it's your choice. Should kids fast?
Should kids fast? It says here allowing your child to fast is probably a bad idea, but I mean, I don't know. We're not allowed to give medical advice. Obviously, we're not qualified at all. But I don't see why the fuck
we're also not parents. Yeah, I'll probably get my kid to fast.
Yeah, I'll probably get my kid on the warrior diet.
Yeah, I'll probably get him ketogenic from like birth. Yeah, and I'll make sure he's on like amino acids and.
I guess it depends what developmental stage they're in. Like probably like a baby like can't, like it's not good for them. But I feel like once you're over like 12, like whatever.
And also like if you whatever. If you're sending your kid to school and he gets to recess and he's like, all his mates are having their recess and he's like, nah, sorry, I'm in a fasted state. And you have a 10-year-old doing that, it might just be like, just let the kid eat. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's a decision they can make for themselves. Parents shouldn't be making those decisions for them anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's some pretty easy questions to go through. Could go deeper and be like, what foods should I eat to break my fast? I find personally that if I have a big fast, if I do a big fast, like 18 plus hours, and then I break my fast with a massive meal, I'm just like, whoa, too much, too heavy. I get sluggish as. So if you are trying your fasting, say it gets to midday, you're ready to break your fast, have a small little snack. Eat something you're used to and just have like a small portion of it. And then an hour later, if you're still hungry, because your stomach will have shrunk, by the way, if you're still hungry, then have your big meal. But I just think it's, you don't walk into the gym and you don't run out onto the footy field and run a marathon straight out of nowhere. Like you build up to that. Same thing goes with your gut. Just give it like an hour or two to slowly build up how much food you're putting back into your system.
Because it's not like you'd imagine when you haven't eaten, you're like so hungry, I need so much, but it's actually like the opposite. You really like have a reduced sort of appetite.
Yeah, genuinely, which is good. And I guess that also plays into another benefit, which is just appetite control. You learn to control your appetite through fasting. It's just a great tool for that.
Yeah, really just being disciplined. It's good. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, definitely recommend anyone who's interested. You don't have to do intermittent fasting. There's other ways to be healthy. It's not the be all end all.
No.
But if you're interested, just give it a try. Let us know how you go as well. And if you want any tips or like,
Owen's the man to ask in this field. He's definitely knows a lot more about this stuff than I do. That's for sure.
I find it really interesting. So I would love to have a chat with anyone who tries it. Like I'd really love to have a chat. Like if you try and don't chat with me, I don't know. That'd be a bit awkward.
What was that?
What? Nothing.
Shut up.
Whatever. So there's intermittent fasting. There's a bit of a cover on it. Well, I'm just trying to think what else, because I want to give a massive, like if we can just do a huge wrap on this and get everything out there, all the info. Oh yeah, so the names we spoke about earlier, we had just some names that you can go and suss. These guys are like certified doctors and nutritionists.
Yeah.
Who can actually give you the details and research papers and everything backed up with evidence. We're just telling you what we've found out and what we've learned from our personal experience. So those people are Dr. Rhonda Fitzpatrick. She's got shit all over YouTube. She's mainly just a guest in podcasts. She also has a lot to say about sauna therapy and how good that is for you. Yeah, she's really interesting. Her podcasts with Joe Rogan are, if you're into nutrition, you need to go watch these. It's essential. Almost as essential as your amino acids and protein.
Them BCAAs.
Muscle. Yeah, man. Branch chains, baby. Then we've got Thomas DeLauer. He's like he's a nutritionalist. I don't think he's actually certified, but he's got a YouTube channel with heaps of views. And he really backs the keto and intermittent fasting. which is interesting. Like, he's all about
Interesting.
ketogenic, and he just backs that to the hills. So you'll get huge info off that guy, and he talks a lot more about the weight loss and muscle gaining and like that proponent of it. Not so much just like day-to-day health. He's all about like the bicep curls and shit that go on top of the intermittent fasting. So if you're into the gym, he's probably the first one I'd go to for that, because he has like workouts and all that shiz. Then you have Dr. Eric Berg, who's pretty interesting. He's like this wacky dude on YouTube. He speaks really slow, but he is so educated on it, and he talks all about the benefits, and he has some short videos which are really easy to just watch. Just bang, you get your info, and then you take it with you. So yeah, you can do that. You can do it later.
Yeah, ketogenic diet, interesting.
How do you feel about the ketogenic diet?
I think I don't think there's any one diet that is just the right diet. I think
that to the hills.
I think it's like everyone wants to push forward their own, ideal diet, but at the end of the day, intermittent fasting. But at the end of the day, some people love keto, some people love like high carb. Like, studies will show you that every diet's like good for you, and there's a reason for that, because the human body is just able to do amazing things with whatever the fuck it can get its hands on.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. In the middle of the wild, like, what were their ancestors? They were fucking eating like grass half the time, probably, because they didn't have shit to eat, and like we can do like whatever.
And each other.
And each other. Got to do what you got to do.
The human diet, the warrior diet.
High protein. Only what I can kill.
Depends who you eat.
Yeah.
Oh, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And there is, like, on one of the Rhonda Fitzpatrick podcasts, she talks about how, what your body is designed to eat, what you've evolved to eat, what is best for you, is actually dependent on where in the world you come from. So, if your ancestors were smashing berries all day, they were smashing berries and wheat and pig, that wild boar hunted by hand, then that's what you need to be eating. You need to go get yourself a wild boar.
Yeah.
But if, on the other hand, your ancestors were smashing fish all day, then you should be eating fish. And I think that's pretty grounded. I mean, it's not like this radical diet. It's just like, okay, this is what my body has evolved to be able to eat and able to process most efficiently. This is what I should be eating. I reckon that makes sense.
Yeah, although I'd argue that we're probably genetically so diffuse now that it's hard to actually know like where your ancestors are from.
So true.
Potentially. That's just one. But I also understand what you mean. Depending on where you come from, different ethnicities and different regions of the world would obviously have to have adapted to eat what they get. Like, people in Eskimos literally live on fish. Like, they live on fish. And I don't know how long they live for, but obviously
they live for ages.
I don't know.
Because they're in those little
igloos.
Yeah, baby.
Fasted igloos.
Yeah, Club Penguin igloos.
Oh, how good.
Yeah.
What were they, the puffles?
The puffles, the little pets you get. Yeah.
And they got the light up dance floor.
Shit. Oh man, I had some intel.
Send us your best Club Penguin stories if you have any. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a live podcast where we're playing Club Penguin.
I saw a Club Penguin doof stick on Instagram before.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, which was really funny.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Oh damn, I had some.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I'm trying to figure that out
Yeah.
now. Obviously, this mental clarity thing isn't working right now in this fast. Shit, man. I've completely forgotten. Oh, yeah. So you have, like, in like, Latin America, you have these people who haven't been exposed to Macca's and Hungry Jacks and all that shit for a while, ever. And then...
That's a while.
They move to America. They're exposed to all these junk foods, and their bodies are literally just like, well, nah. And obesity kicks in straight away.
Really?
Because we've been eating grains and all that shit, and like processed grains for a while now. Some people would argue that we're still not adapted to eat them. That's another story. But there are groups of people and ethnicities who definitely have not adapted to eat them. So when they do, it's just like, boom, absolute blow up. The opposite of a glow up. They blow up.
Yeah, they blow up. And they don't glow.
Which, not that blowing up is a bad thing, but for health, for the heart, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not trying to push any body images here.
We can get into that though on an episode, because I find that whole area, that body positivity thing, pretty interesting, mate.
It is interesting. Pretty interesting. Yeah, you've got a bit to say, do you?
Yeah, I think I got some stuff to say.
All right, well, we'll save that for another episode, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd be excited to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure.
We could get some people on.
Yeah.
If you are interested in coming on for that episode and you want to talk about body positivity, or I don't know, I guess that falls in with eating disorders and what we're expected to look like, body image disorders. If you want to come in and chat about that or share any experiences, definitely hit us up, because we are looking for someone who can offer.
Yeah, we're looking for guests, actually. I think it's high time that we got someone on.
It is. We spoke about it in the intro. We hyped it up big time, and we haven't had anyone on yet.
It's happening very soon.
Yeah. It's going to come a time when we're not enough. We're going to need that extra person.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. That's going to happen soon.
You guys are going to want more. You're a greedy bunch of people.
We can only give so much.
Greedy bastards.
Do we want to move on to our music of the week, or did you have anything else you wanted to say about intermittent fasting?
No, I think that's it for fasting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to wrap it up there.
Okay. Fantastic. Well,
cool.
Intermittent fasting, if it interests you, check it out. You have nothing to lose by giving it a shot.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways you can do it. There's bound to be something that probably works for you. Yeah. So
100%.
There you go.
Hit it up. Let us know how you go.
Fantastic.
You must let us know how you go.
Owen, what have you been listening to this week?
Man,
it's music of the week. Music of the week. It's an intro segment to the segment.
Okay, we'll stop now. What have I been listening to? Well, Curtis, I've gone back to an old favourite of mine. Led Zeppelin.
Classic.
I've been listening to a disproportionate amount of Led Zeppelin for the past week. It's getting out of hand.
Why's that, mate?
Well, mate, why did that happen? You know what it was? I saw a video. It was an interview with Jimmy Page, the guitarist of Led Zeppelin. Cool dude. Well, I don't know. He's probably done some pretty stupid shit, actually. Cool guitar player. Good guitar player. There was an interview with him, and after watching it, I was just like, fuck, I forgot how cool these guys were. Like, I love Led Zeppelin, because I used to smash them back in high school. So then I just got back into them, started listening, and I've just been running through all their albums. Mothership is easily one of my favourite ones. I'm frothing that at the moment. Yeah.
Is that the one with the iconic front cover?
With the Zeppelin?
Yeah, it's like black and red.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain, man. Let me just...
no, I haven't listened to much of them at all. I don't think I could name a single song, but that's just that's definitely my fault. I should definitely check them out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd recommend...
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Compilation album by Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
It's like...
That's like their greatest hits.
That's awkward. That's why I love it so much.
No fucking wonder.
I'm a fucking idiot. My favourite album is their greatest hits all compiled. I sound stupid.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been listening to most. Their greatest hits, because I'm fucking basic. And yeah, my favourite song by them would definitely be Communication Breakdown. If you want to go give that a listen right now, that's the best one.
Sick.
What have you been listening to?
I've been listening to a lot of Mount Kimby this week. Enjoying that UK, enjoying that sort of UK alternative.
Yeah.
Loving that London vibe, South London in it. Loving that vibe. Not even sure if they're from South London.
Yeah.
But
what was that accent again?
I don't know.
Microphone's been playing up all night. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it?
So I've been really liking that. Obviously, really beautiful song with them is Blue Train Lines, featuring my boy King Cruel, who's an absolute favourite of mine as well. Went to see him live at the Croxton Band Room down in Preston. Thornbury? Yeah, Thornbury. So anyway, really, really nice UK alternative duo, and they get all sorts of weird features, and they're really broad, and I recommend them. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. I love a bit of Mount Kimby. I think you actually got me onto Mount Kimby.
Really?
Yes, you did.
Sick.
That's a fact. I remember that because we spoke about King Cruel. And then you were like, mate, check out this song with King Cruel.
Blue Train Lines.
That's it. And I heard it, and as soon as I heard it, I was like,
amazing. Really cool visuals of the video clip as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. How was your weekend, by the way? I just wanted to ask that on air so we could
it was all right, mate. So we went out to a friend's 21st. You were there last night.
Happy birthday, Bridget.
Happy birthday, Bridget. Hope you had a great night. And Minnie. So really, really nice to celebrate Bridget and Minnie's 21st.
Yeah.
But that actually leads me well into my pet peeve. So my pet peeve of the week is bouncers.
Go.
So not all bouncers in general, but their attitude of you know how some clubs, well at least in Australia, in Melbourne, some clubs have a rule, or they tend to try and make a 50-50 sex ratio inside the club. And as a result, you can just get barred and be like, come back with some girls. So I actually was with a girl. I was with my girlfriend, as a matter of fact. And we're in a group of mates. Literally, they let in 4 out of the 6 of us and just leave me and my mate just standing out there and like just put their foot down. They just abuse their power. That's what they do because they're so bored, I reckon. Like, you're spending the whole night standing outside and it's got a weird sort of macho, aggressive, vibe in that security industry, and they just like to really take advantage of people who are just trying to have a good night out. Like, really, what's the harm in just letting someone in?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Macklemore actually has a song.
Yeah,
and he throws a bit of fire at the security guard, and I'm gonna read the lyric now. Obviously, not gonna rap it. What does he say? My ID was jacked by the Caucasian Debo. What does he say? Where is it? You're a bouncer because you have... Oh, no. He starts earlier than that. I hate bouncers with their bald heads, and... I'm sorry if you're a bouncer, by the way. I hate bouncers with their bald heads and 10-foot-tall legs and shirts that they outgrew when they were like 10. Your mother is dumb for having you. You're a bouncer because you have a small dick. And as a kid, everyone laughed at you.
Whoa.
You're too big and you never seem to listen. You look injected with the shit they give to KFC chickens.
Wow.
I don't like you at all. I despise you. If I was tall, I would fight you. If I was a dog, sir, I would bite you. I added in that sir, it just felt right. Every single day you make people cry, and your job is to go and ruin teenagers' lives. Okay, I'm going too far. Bouncers aren't all bad. I'm sure they make great husbands and really, really strong dads. But hopefully you learned a lesson from me. Never take an MC's fake ID. I rest my case.
So yeah, bouncers basically they can be egotistical and take advantage of you. My pet peeve is bouncers being unnecessarily rude to patrons.
I think that's fair. I reckon everyone's experienced that at least once in their life.
And I could have waited it out in the line till they let me in, but I literally pissed me off so much. Like, I'm not giving XC $20. Like, I'm not giving them my money. I'm boycotting the shit.
I feel like at XC, the bouncers think they're bouncing for Berghain or something like that. They're so like, they're trying to do that mysterious, like, oh yeah. You got ID? How many drinks you had tonight? Oh, interesting. Yeah. Like, it's stupid. They're on this massive ego trip. Anyway, that's my experience. I don't like the bounce at XC.
No, well, neither do I.
Neither do you.
No. Do you have a pet peeve this week?
Peeve, yeah, mine's like pretty basic, and I feel a lot of people will be able to relate to this.
Relatable.
Slow walkers.
Oof, that's a classic.
Fucking stand it, and it's like, it's even worse when they're on their phone. You know, when you see someone walking slow and their head's in their phone. And they're not paying any attention to the other people around them. They're not connected with society at all. They're just running their own little show in their own little bubble, slowing everyone else down. It's stupid. It's annoying, and it's not an efficient way for people to be getting about their business.
You'd get a lot of those on the way to RMIT on Swanston Street.
Yeah, that's exactly Swanston what I'm visualizing right criminal, now, and it's getting me. I'm getting worked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a song about it, maybe like Macklemore did.
Yeah, some slam poetry.
Yeah. Well, we could try right now.
No. Oh, well, you can go, actually.
I might try, actually.
Or maybe you can wait till next week and get it ready.
I'm going to have some slam poetry about slow walkers ready for you guys in the next episode.
It's like that, huh?
How about that?
Maybe I could do some slam poetry about bouncers. Okay.
Yeah, bang. There it is. Let's just write that
Welcome
down.
To the poetry cast.
Maybe... Is this a new...
Poetry.
Is this a new
poetry?
segment?
Well, I know you fancy yourself a bit of a writer. Like, you'd be interested in trying that stuff out.
I would like to write some of that, yeah.
Is this what we've been waiting for?
This is it. This is our big break.
So what else is on for... Do we have a challenge to announce for next week?
I don't think so, man. I think, well, the next episode, we're sort of thinking, do we want to let them in on our process? Do you want,
sure.
Yeah.
So next episode is mental health? What's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
The next
well,
shit, dog.
next week's episode, possibly this week. We're on school holidays at the moment, so we've got heaps of time to just go and bang out episodes. The next episode is going to be on mental health. And are we focusing on men's mental health? Male mental health? Well, that's what the essay focuses on.
Yeah, let's focus on men's mental health.
Yeah, so men's mental health. That's what we're going to be doing. We've been graciously sent in an essay by Eliza Watson. Thank you very much for sending us that. We're going to use that as the impetus or the focal point of our discussion, and it will help us frame a little chat about some issues that men can face in today's society, specifically Australian society. So that's going to be really interesting. Looking forward to that.
Can't wait to break that down and unpack it.
Yeah. It's
really, really fucking important.
Yeah, really important message. Really important topic to discuss.
So if anyone wants to message in about anything they have to say on that topic, or if you have a lot to say on the topic and you wouldn't mind coming in, let us know as early as possible so we can collab and make that happen. We'll put something up on the gram tonight potentially and just be like next episode's on mental health.
You could get a psychology student.
Yes, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
So by the time this episode's out, hopefully we've already advertised that. So we can show up because we're a bit we need to speed up.
Yeah, we do. We're getting a little bit better each week. It's a learning process.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I just thought, did we do our pet peeve last week?
We did.
We did?
Yeah.
What was your pet peeve?
Mine was the guy farting in the library.
Oh, yeah. What was... Sorry.
And yours was the person beeping their horn for ages.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I haven't already said it. I have another pet peeve. Can I...
Of course.
It's really riling me up. It's been...
Yeah.
You know?
You've got a lot of peeves.
I've got a bone to pick. So my bone to pick, my pet peeve of the week, is when people go over to Europe and there's
a lot of people there right now.
There's a lot of people there right now, which fires us up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step on some toes here. When people go to Europe, and you could be in Berlin or Amsterdam, which are techno hotspots. Some of the best techno in the world. I need to clear my throat real quick. Sorry, I'm back. So, best techno in the world, arguably. Hotspots. People go there, and then they go to R&B clubs, and they go to like top 40 clubs, and you see them, they're not experiencing the dirty, grimy techno clubs that are so well known over there. They're just being Normans.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity to see like where like the pinnacle of a sort of a subculture, or not a subculture, but a certain genre is, you may as well make the most of that instead of going and listening to an Americanized factory fucking copy and paste song. Is my opinion. But arguably, at the same time, everyone's got their own preferences,
their own interests.
But
it's just a shame that some people's interests are wrong.
Yeah, well,
that sucks.
I just think that people who listen to commercial music should take a look at themselves and obviously all music's commercial, but think about, are you just a consumer of this product that's just actually basically made in a factory by ghostwriters and professional producers, or some that's a bit more of an artistic art form?
Yeah, with more passion.
Yeah,
so much
and more individuality and less money.
And as well, like when you get that individuality and that passion, the music genre often filters down into so many different subgenres because every artist is taking their own look at their own approach to producing the music, or not even producing. It might not be electronic music.
Yeah.
But yeah, go out and find some music that other people aren't listening to, and don't go to Amsterdam and listen to top 40 music.
You find shots, man.
Sorry.
Anyway, episode 4.
Episode 4. I feel like we could finish there.
I think this might have been our longest episode
on
yet.
An aggressive note. Check the timer.
On an aggressive note. Yeah, finish on a staunch note. I can't really check it safely. I don't want to fucking...
Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Don't touch anything.
Thanks for listening to episode 4. Next episode is going to be something special, something more legit, something I think everyone can really get interested in. Very important topic. Keen to talk about mental health. That's all from me. Stay tuned for more Culture Cafe productions.
So just get my water in whilst I'm on this fast. Yeah, that's all from me as well. thanks for all your support. The support is growing. More and more people are like getting around us and backing this move. So, as always, the camera's just turned off. Fuck.
Oh, so
That's
close.
Such an awkward time for it to stop.
Oh, should we just keep going? Yeah,
rolling.
just keep rolling.
This will only take a second.
Yeah. Okay. We're not back. We've just kept recording, but
thanks for the support.
There.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's awesome. It's really nice when people come and get around it. It's really motivating.
Really, really sick. Keen to build a lot of content with all you guys helping us.
So keen.
It's going to become bigger than a cafe, or the cafe is going to become big.
Bigger than Ben-Hur. We might be a restaurant one day.
Bigger than Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Sick.
Thanks for everything. See you in the next episode.
Peace out.